So let's begin. So we're talking about the advanced market structure. First of all, you did your basic market structure quite well, and you were taught in the basic market structure that this is how the the market moves this way. Fine. Now this is how the market moves in the basic form. Okay, but it is quite different in the advanced market structure. Now, the advanced market structure, the market does not move like this. Instead, the market moves in twos. Okay, I want you to pay real attention to what I'm teaching. The market moves in twos. It doesn't move like this. Now, in the basic market structure, they will tell you that after price takes this low out, it is called a change of character. That's for the basic market structure. But for the advanced market structure, it is different. Now, for the advanced market structure, price have to take out two lows for, I don't know why my trading view is not opening, so I had to use this like from the web. Just a minute. They want me to log in, but it's not working. I do not want to log in. It's not even working. If it does work out there, we're going to use derive. I don't want anything to stress me. Let's just use derive. I'll still use that code I was using before. So yeah, like I was explaining, it doesn't move like this. Okay, now it moves in twos. Now 2 makes 1 for advance. 2 low. When we further the class, you understand. So just take it the way it is for now. So 2 lows make 1 structure. Let me put it that way. Equal to 1. Okay, now fine. So now you do not call this a change of character anymore. What you call a change of character is when price now takes out these 2 lows. That's why I said 2 makes 1. Unlike the basic, price has to take out 1 for a change of character, but for the advance, it is 2 that has to be taken out for us to see a change of character. Now, if we have 2 lows to be taken out for a change of character, it means that this low be tradable? Probably, we do not know. As the class goes on, we will know. But just put it at the back of your mind that it is just these 2 lows that makes up a change of character. Alright, so let's look at it in the chart. Now this is good. Now the basic market structure you learned, it is still helpful. Okay, we'll still come to that. It is still helpful, and when we get to how it is helpful, I will tell you. But for now, I'm talking about just the basic market structure, not other things you learned. Some other things there are not important. Now we have qualities to know that this is I don't want to use some terms not to confuse you, but we have qualities to know that this is a proper break of structure, and we will get to that soon. Now this is like an example of what I'm talking about. Now this is a break of structure 1. Now for us to say that gold has changed character, gold has to take out 2 lows. Now I will not be counting this low here, and you might be wondering why, but as the class goes on, you will understand. But this particular break of structure is not a valid low. Okay, It is not a valid low, which means that what? The next valid low will be considered. Which is this low over here. So it means that what? This low is useless. The useful two lows we have, the price is creating another valid break of structure here, but for now we won't be using this until this high has been broken. So now we have this low as a valid low, this low as invalid, this low as valid. Now if we have this low as valid, this low as valid, what happens to this one? This one is just like a trap. Okay, it is invalid. We have just this and this. Good enough. So this is not tradable. This is 50-50 tradable, but this is the low that should be traded. Alright, so if we want to say that gold has changed character, we would say that it needs to take out, let's assume that this thing has not broken structure because it's almost at it. See, in the next some minutes it should take out this particular high, and this will be a new structure. This one is valid, but let's just take it out for now. So now gold has to take out this low to be a change of character. Now we have qualities of this, okay, but for now, if I should say those qualities, it's going to confuse you. That's why I am not saying it, okay. But just know that we have quality. That's why this one does not fit into the criteria. That's why I did not use it. This one, it doesn't have the quality of a valid break of structure. Now let us call this break of structures internals. Okay, now this is not a valid internal, this is valid, and this is valid. Now for us to see that gold has changed character internally, we have to break this particular low. As simple as that. The advanced market structure is not complex. Likewise, this over here. Now let us check another example from here. Now this guy here is not a valid break of structure. Okay, now if you are wanting to ask how can we know a valid break of structure, valid internal, keep that question. It's not necessary for now, because even if I tell you number one quality, it needs to have a structural liquidity. Do you know what is a structural liquidity? No. So keep that question for now. So this guy is not valid, which means that what? This guy is added into the family of this. So all of these make one break of structure. Okay, then the second valid break of structure is this guy over here, which means that what? This guy changed the character internally. That is why people started buying this buy you see over here, this little stuff you see. That's why the market started buying like this, because of this second guy. It's on rare occasions where there's an internal change of character that price still goes that way. When that happens, it is called reclamation. We'll get to that. That's an entry model. Okay, so now this high taking out gave us this change of character, and that's why we started buying. So I like teaching very simple and very short, because I don't like to make it very complex. The time where you need all the time is coming. When we get to liquidity, you need all the time to understand. But for now, structure is the least thing we should spend hundreds of time on, because each class brings us back to structure. Structure is the foundation of everything we're trading. Okay, the strategy we're trading is structure and liquidity. Okay, so basically it is just this guy. So the whole thing is know your structure. What's his name? Steve has already taught you about higher highs and higher lows. I have no business talking about that, because like explaining that again is taking me back to basic market structure. So I want to assume that you all know that this is higher high, this is higher high, this is higher low. You all know, and all of that. So what I'm here to do is to tell you how we mark the break of structure. So even this break of structure, we have things we need to see inside, which is that structural liquidity I mentioned. before it breaks the high. But if I should say it now, it's going to actually confuse you. So I do not want to like confuse you. That's why. So what you should know, you just need to understand that two lows make one structure. Okay? And as time goes on, you will know why we are not trading, or why we are not calling this particular point. Where's that guy? You know what? We're not calling this particular point and our entry yet. We have not got it to entry. Let me know. So, first break of structure, second break of structure, invalid. This is invalid. So, if you are looking for to buy gold from here, it may likely hit your stops. Okay, so it is quite invalid. And before we get another break of structure, should be when price breaks this guy over here with the body of the candle. Lest I forget, a break of structure is only valid when price breaks. Hope you guys are following. When price breaks with the body of the candle, if it breaks with a wick, it is invalid, just as it's rejecting at this point. Now I know the reason why it is rejecting at this point is because it created, Stevie already told you about that, it created a resistance before it created the resistance. So the rejection is just happening because of this guy, but it has broken it fair enough, so you should buy very well. But if you go to the lower time frame, I suspect there should be a reaction at that resistance. Yep, I said it. So there was a rejection here before this high got taken out. That just spoiled everything. So that's practically all. The new B's here, let me break it down for you again. Two lows or two highs if it's for the buy this way. Sorry, it's for the sell rather. This is buy. Two highs make one structure. If it's for the buy, two lows make one structure. Two valid, okay, two valid lows, because we did not count this, but this was a structure, a broke structure. So two valid makes one structure. Even if the next one again is invalid, it's still invalid till we get the next valid one. So until that next valid one, the second one is taken out, the two is invalid. So that will be all for today. Steven has already told you about higher highs and higher lows, but put it at the back of your mind that this particular thing that we taught today, you might think it is not hard, but the truth is that even some people from TLS 1.0, if they are being sincere with you, at some point structure was their major problem. Not because it was not easy to understand, but because some people might not know how to identify the structural liquidities, which we will get into, and some people do not know how to draw the valid internals, which is this break of structure. Okay, so the key point to write: break structure with the body of the candle, and we'll get to the rest, which is creating structural liquidity and all of that as time goes on. But the most important is two lows gives a change of character, not one anymore. One ended at basic market structure. But when we're talking about overall directional bias, we're still going to talk about that basic market structure, because at that point it's going to be important. Getting direction, it is one break of structure from the higher time frame, one low taken out from the higher time frame with the body of the candle, the external, that creates a change of character. We'll get to that. For now, it's not necessary. That's when we'll go back again to the basic market structure to just steal a little from their what's the name, from their basic structure. So that's all. And please practice and try to identify these things on the chart. It's not difficult at all. I'm going to drop an assignment. I want to see a lot of people identify this, like 2 or 3 charts. Don't go below the 1 hour or 30 minutes time frame. You can see I use 30 minutes, so don't go below 30 minutes. You can use 1 hour, you can use 30 minutes, you can use 2 hours. Do not use 4 hours. when we talk about higher time frames like 4 hours, is when we want to check the directional bias to know what's happening in the higher time frame. So gracias, and that's all for today. Have a lovely night. TLS 2.0, welcome to your class properly. This is where the game starts, defines those that we have achievements in the long run or not. Okay, not all that glitters are good. Not everybody here. Well, I wish everybody the best, but the truth be told, in every learning institution, it's always like that. Not everybody comes out with flying colors, but at least some come out with the colors that are a bit flying, even if they are not flying fully, but you still know that, yeah, this person learned. So far so good. Your effort too will determine, not just the class. Have a lovely night, everyone.